Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we start with a new chapter number 4, Exogenetic Processes Part 2. Let us revise what are exogenetic and endogenetic movements. Movements which takes place inside the earth are called as endogenetic movements, and different landforms formed because of those endogenetic movements. In the previous chapter number 3, we have talked about exogenetic movement, means the movements which are taking place on the surface of the earth and landforms formed because of the same. In the previous chapter, we have talked about weathering. Remember students, we talked about weathering. Weathering means wearing away of the rock. We talked about erosion. But mind you, erosion, transportation and deposition, these processes takes place sometimes simultaneously or maybe in this particular order. The materials which are weathered away, which are eroded, gets carried away by different agents, that is, it is being transported, and when the speed of the agents reduces or because of some other reason, this eroded material gets transported. So, erosion, transportation and deposition is done by different agents. Now, what are these different agents? These different agents and the landforms that they are going to cause, that they are going to form, we are going to study in this chapter. Different agents are river or the running water, glaciers, glacier means mass of ice sliding down slowly, maybe on a sloping land. Then winds, moving air, sea waves, and finally the groundwater. Groundwater means water which has percolated inside the surface of the earth is causing different landforms there. We will be talking about the same. So this agent, that is rivers, glacier, winds, sea waves and groundwater, they bring about changes on the earth's surface and new landforms are formed. Work of river and the landforms. Now let us differentiate. Now rills means small water bodies that originate on the mountains or hills. Many rills comes together and they form gully. Many gullies come together and they form a stream. When many streams meet, they form a river. So rills are small flow of water down the hill slopes. Rills meet together to form gully. Many gullies come together to form stream, and finally many streams or tributaries come together and form a river. So now what is a river? Naturally flowing course of water. Rivers are formed naturally. It is not man-made, but it is moving down the slopes naturally. So naturally flowing course of water. Generally, rivers or many a times or most often rivers flow down the slopes. This is due to the gravity. Or we can say naturally flowing course of water from high elevation, that is height, to low elevation due to gravity. When many such flows come together, when many such tributaries come together, they form rivers. So major river have many tributaries. Finally, all these tributaries meets and a big river is formed. So, running water flowing naturally in the direction according to the gravity along the slope makes its own way. We call this flow of water as rivers. Now, factors on which erosion depends. Now, the erosional work of the river, factors on which erosion, transportation and deposition works of the river depend. We are talking about the first agent, that is river. So we have come to know the definition of river. Now we will see what are the factors on which erosion, transportation and deposition works depend. It depends upon the slope of the land, whether the land is sloping gently or whether it is a steep sloping land. The rock type, rock is hard or whether it is a soft rock. Volume of water, less water or more water. length of the flow, whether the river is a long river or short river, and it also depends upon volume of sediments. We'll be seeing these factors in details. First one is the slope of the land. If the slope of the land is very steep, it will bring about lot of erosion. It will carry many sediments with it. If the slope is gentle, the force, the speed of the river will be less, so it will be eroding the land less. So next factor was the type of the rock. In the course of the river, if the water experiences soft rock, the soft rock will be eroded very easily because of that flowing water. But if the rock in its course is hard, the rock will not be easily eroded. There might be a waterfall in such area where there is soft rock underlying the hard rock. Then it depends upon the volume of water, whether the river is carrying a lot of water with it or whether it is having very less water. It depends upon the length of the river. Here in the map of India, you can see certain rivers are very long rivers. See river Ganga, river Brahmaputra, Godavari, Narmada, Krishna. These are all very long rivers. Okay, so if the river is very long, if it is covering a larger area, it can bring about many changes on the land surface. But if the rivers are very short, for example, rivers that originates in the Sahyadri mountain and meets the Arabian Sea, I am talking about the rivers of Konkan area of Maharashtra. These are very short rivers. They will not be able to bring about many landforms. They will not be able to create many landforms as it does not have time. Time in the sense, the moment it starts from its source, it is about to meet its mouth. It is about to meet the sea. Then we talk about the sediments, volume of sediments. The sediments that the river carry, if it is less, it will bring about different landform, and if it is carrying lot of sediment, it will be bringing about a different landform. Now we talk about the erosional work. We will be seeing each of the work of the river in detail. First we will talk about the erosional work. We know that river originates at high altitude or at higher elevation from the sea level. All the rivers starts from hills or mountains, that is at a higher elevation from the sea level. Now as the slope there on the top of the mountain is very much, speed of the river will be more. More the speed means river has greater power and it will do a lot of erosion. So erosional work you will be seeing at the source of the river. Source means the place where the river originates. So at the source or in the mountainous area where the river is having more speed due to steep slope, it will be doing the erosional work. The river bed and river bank gets eroded. River bed and river bank both are getting eroded. When the river bed is eroded, the river becomes deeper, and when river bank is eroded, the river becomes wider. So river bed and river banks are eroded due to fast flow. I have already told you at a higher slope, speed is more. So because of the fast flow, bed and banks are eroded. Here they will be carrying a lot of sediment. So this sediment, as they are rotating, it will be making the beds deeper, bed of the river deeper. And many tributaries are joining. We have talked about rills and gullies and streams. So many tributaries will be joining the river here, and the size of the river, the volume of the water here will keep on increasing. Now landforms form because of erosional work of river. Due to the erosional work, gorges or canyons, V-shaped valley and waterfalls are formed. Here you can see the canyon. In the box you have to write down erosion. Canyons are caused or gorges are caused because of the erosional work of the river. So you can see in the mountainous area, very steep slope, almost vertically standing mountain, and a river is flowing below it. So such gorges are caused because of the erosional work. It takes many years for such a formation. Grand Canyon in USA is the best example of such a gorge. One more picture of a gorge, steep mountains and a river flowing. Then V-shaped valley. V-shaped valley is also caused because of the erosional work. Here the slope is not very steep, or it is not almost vertical, but it is having a gentle slope and a valley is caused. Maybe the river was flowing and it has eroded this mountain, and river is at the base of this valley. One more picture of V-shaped valley. Waterfall. Waterfalls are also formed because of the erosional work of river. We have seen the picture where we have seen where there is a soft rock below the hard rock. The softer rock gets eroded, the hard rock will be overlying it, and the water will be falling, plunging over the hard rock. Now we talk about transportational work of river. Alluvial fan. In this we are particularly talking about the alluvial fans. Now what are these alluvial fans? Now the river in its course comes down the mountain. The base of the mountain is called as the foothill. So when the river has just come down the mountain, come down the slopes, and it is now on flat land, it is near its foothill, the speed of the river decreases. As the slope becomes gentle, speed slows down, and because of this slowing down, the river will not be able to carry the heavier material with it. So heavier coarse sediment will be deposited here. Okay, so at the foothill of the mountain, where the river has just come down the mountain and it is about to enter the flat land, depositional work of the river causes lot of settling down of sediments there, and a triangular shaped depositional area is formed. And where is it formed? It is formed at the foothill of the mountain, and this is triangular in shape, and it will contain lot of heavier sediments. This is called, this area is triangular in shape, and this is called as alluvial fan. It represents the shape of a fan. You can see in this picture. This picture is taken from a height, from above. So this is a bird's eye view. In the alluvial fan, in that box along its side, you will be writing, it is formed because of the depositional work. Okay, transportation as well as depositional work. Here basically deposition is done. So a fan shaped valley. Remember those Japanese fan that you held in your hand that you are using. Okay, so that shape is there. The river has come down the mountain and the depositional work is done here. One more picture. In fact, a diagram of a alluvial fan. That yellow part representing the fan shape is called as alluvial fan. Now, meandering rivers and oxbow lakes. As the slope becomes more gentle, river starts flowing slowly. Slope is becoming less, speed of the river is also decreasing. So here transportational capacity becomes less and depositional capacity increases. Here river will not be able to carry the sediments that it has brought from the mountain anymore. So it will start depositing those sediments. So transportation work will be less. Where was the transportation work more? On the mountains. When it has come to the flat land, transportation work becomes less and depositional work becomes more. Due to the deposited sediment in its course, river will experience obstacle, hindrance. It will find the depositional material in its course. So river will not be able to flow in a straight line. It will have to curve itself. It will have to move in a zigzag manner. This bending of the river is called as meandering of river, and this meandering is done to overcome this obstacle. So the course of the river will not be straight anymore, but it will be having bends, it will be having meanders. So you have understood what are meandering rivers. But what about oxbow lake? To explain Oxbow Lake, let us have a look at the picture. We were talking about Oxbow Lakes. After seeing what is meandering rivers, we will talk about Oxbow Lake. Here you can see a picture of a meandering river. But where is that lake that we are talking about? Now, when the flood comes, when the flood comes, the river will cross its banks and it will flow in the adjoining area along with its deposition, along with its sediments. After the flood recedes, after the flood water recedes, maybe the river will start flowing in a straight course, and that oxbow shaped meander which was there will be separated, and the river will move in its course in a straight line. So river on one side and Oxbow Lake will be there. Example of such an Oxbow Lake is river Chandrabhaga at Chandrapur. The name Chandrabhaga itself indicates it is of the crescent shape or the shape of the back of an ox. So it is called as an Oxbow Lake. We come to the depositional work of the river. Now when the river comes near its mouth, source of the river means the place where the river starts, and mouth of the river means if the river empties itself in a sea or an ocean, so that is its mouth. So when the river near its mouth or the sea, its speed has become very, very, very slow. It is not able to carry the sediments anymore. Here the width of the river is the maximum. You will find a very wide bed of the river. At places you will see river Ganga as wide as a sea. You cannot see the other side, other bank of the river from this bank. So it is very wide. But the speed of the river is very slow. So all the sediments that the river has carried, it will be settling at its bed as well as at its bank. Factors that determine the deposition. So on what does the depositional work of the river depends? It depends upon the following factors. First one, the length of the river. How long is the river? It also depends upon the volume of the water. It depends upon the amount of sediment and the slope of the land. The landforms formed because of depositional work of the river are floodleaves, floodplains and deltas. Here is a picture of floodleaves and the floodplains. That natural bank which is formed along the banks of the river is called as floodleaves, and the plains along that is called as floodplains. Now when the river is flooded, it will cross its banks, it will be moving in the adjoining area, but the deposited material it will not be able to carry over a long distance. It will be settling at the bank. So an embankment is naturally formed at the banks of the river. These embankments are called as floodleaves, and the alluvial, the fertile soil that the river has been carrying will be deposited in the floodplains. So floodplains are very fertile area. They will be having a lot of alluvial in it, and this is how the Indo-Gangetic plains are formed, which are the most fertile plains of the world, and first civilization were formed along this floodplains of Indo-Gangetic. So here is a picture of floodleaves and floodplains. And the next landform which is formed because of the depositional work is the delta. This is a satellite picture. The triangular area that you can see is the yellowish colored part is the land part, the grayish whitish part is the sea, and you can see the course of the river. So the place where the river is about to meet the sea, the mouth of it, there you can see the triangular area being formed, which is called as delta. Now as there is a lot of deposition, river will not be able to take any more material to the sea, so it will be depositing those material, and the river will experience obstacle while it is flowing. So river divides in itself, bifurcates itself into two parts, and This bifurcation will now be called as distributaries. So you can see river splitting into two and it is joining the sea. Furthermore, deposition leads to more obstacle, and these two distributaries will also be facing obstacle. So they will be further dividing into more distributaries, and the area which is formed because of this depositional work of these distributaries is called as the delta. In Greek, the Greek alphabet delta represents this particular triangular shape. So this is called as the delta. So here we stop today. We have seen the agent, the river. Next time we'll talk about different agents. Thank you, students.